Live from Studio B and KPRC2. Houston Life starts now.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Houston Life on this Friday Eve, April 7th. I'm Courtney Savala.
Hi, Courtney. Hi, everybody. I'm Derek Shore. Coming up on today's show, baseball is back. Of course, that means we are celebrating our Stros. A Houston legend will join us on set to discuss what we can expect out of this season.
Plus, sip, shop, and relax. The local wine event that's packed with plenty of fun activities for the whole family.
Ooh, sign me up for that. Also, how opera can be fun for the whole family. We'll take you behind the scenes live at Rice University's new opera hall. Looks like Lauren Kelly is already having fun.
Looks amazing. Plus, Joe Sam is giving us a look at a new push for families to give back to the community. Hi, Joe.
Hey, guys. Yeah, a gigantic change for your family and a chance for them to give back. We're looking at 300 families that will be out there participating. I'll tell you how your family can get connected with a local nonprofit and make a difference this weekend. That's coming up, but we'll go ahead and send things back to you guys for now.
Okay, Joe, before we get into all of that, let's take a look at today's forecast.
That's right, because the weekend is just right around the corner. Today was absolutely lovely. Justin's in for Frank today.
Yep.
Got to tell you, we're giving you all kinds of gold stars.
I'll take them,
Yes.
right? I'll take them at this point because not only is the weather perfect outside, but we've got a lot of sunshine, still a little breezy. Obviously, the pollen count is still a bit of an issue. That's going to continue to be an issue over the next couple of days here. But aside from that, you see what I see outside at KPRC2 Studios. Perfect weather. And it's going to continue as well. We've got temperatures in the mid-upper 70s from Bush Airport on the north side. Galveston right now, beautiful afternoon down on the island, 78 degrees. 73 in Conroe, 74 as you get out to Brenham, 75 down in El Campo. So everybody's pretty much parked where they're at. But look at these wind gusts, guys, anywhere from 25 to 35 miles an hour. So there's no wind advisory, but it's close. It's still breezy out there. Keep that in mind. And of course, the oak tree is over 10,000 parts per million. That's the strongest we've seen it so far this spring. This is the worst day so far. And then, of course, weed and grass is like, hey, we want to get in on that action. So they jumped in as well. There's that big area of low pressure. Look at the snow up towards Minneapolis continuing to churn its way eastward. Meanwhile, if you're headed out, should be a fine afternoon to watch the Stros. Check this out for the season opener here. First pitch tonight, 91 degrees. It is going to be a hot one out at Angels Park. Better weather for us here if you're going to be watching locally. We'll talk about that. And first hurricane forecast from Colorado State came out today as well. We will talk about that coming up at 4 o'clock.
Oh, wow, it's that time already, the first hurricane forecast?
Yeah, it's a little early. This is just sort of a guide that we use, but it's out there, so we want to show everybody what we see as well.
Okay, Justin, we'll look forward to that. Thanks so much.
Okay, and as we heard, it is opening day finally for MLB, and we're talking about the Stros and the Angels. They are going to be playing tonight. 9:04 is the start time, and the two guys on the mound, of course, for us, Valdez will take the mound, and Ohtani will take the mound for the Angels, which, you know, unless you're living under a rock, I mean, this guy is real good, as the kids like to call him, Showtime, right? He's on the cover of Time magazine there. So always a great matchup, and it's always great to see him because he doesn't only pitch.
Yeah, well, and Anaheim Angels, they're a good team, right? They're going to be...
Stros are better.
Yeah, okay, well, you put it out there. So glad we can finally bust out our Stros gear. Speaking of the Astros, and I feel like this is perfect timing, giving little homage to the Astrodome, which is a beloved building to so many Houstonians.
Iconic.
Yeah, the second annual Race for the Dome is happening this Saturday. It's a 5K road race and a 1K fun run. This is all presented by the Astrodome Conservancy in honor of the Astrodome's 57th birthday, 57 years young. And here's the thing, when you register online, registration is really inexpensive. You get the t-shirt, the race bib, a commemorative medal, but you're also automatically entered to win Olivia Rodrigo concert tickets at 713 Music Hall next month, May 12th. So that is a nice perk. You can follow the hashtag Race for the Dome if you would like more info.
Okay, speaking of flashing back here, just 30 years, not 57.
Okay.
So 30 years ago this week, Barney debuted on PBS, the beloved purple dinosaur.
I love you.
This is iconic.
You love me.
For the generation, right? This is so crazy, you guys. Debuted April 6, 1992. Of course, the voice of Barney, Bob West, he was born in Pennsylvania. You know me, I always say there's a Houston connection. The man grew up in Baytown.
Oh my gosh.
Baytown, Texas.
Just down the road from Houston.
Just down the road.
That's incredible.
I know. It's really incredible. Peacock, by the way, is working on a 3-part documentary about Barney the dinosaur. I mean, can we see a research of this?
I would hope so.
Right?
And what's fascinating is Bob West, who you just mentioned, spent so many of his younger years in Baytown. He's got to be really, really busy these days. But he's not too busy for Houston Life. Bob West, welcome to Houston Life.
Hey!
How are you? Great to see you. What's going on today?
It's great to see you. Listen, Bob, in just casual conversation, chatting with you like this, a lot of people probably don't realize that you are the voice of this iconic childhood friend many of us grew up with.
And a lot of people don't. It's wonderful to be able to walk down the street and not have anyone recognize you. It's great for privacy.
Yeah, your cloak of invisibility is your superpower.
Yes.
And I love that you're in purple. Is that kind of the color of choice always, Bob? I have to ask.
Well, it's not, it doesn't fill my entire wardrobe, but this is definitely my branding for when I'm making an appearance.
It's awesome.
People say the shirt is more famous than I am now, so.
Let's talk about this Peacock documentary. I mean, what's your involvement and how much of you, and I know you might not be allowed to tell us too much.
Well, all I can say is there's a documentary coming out, and I hear that it's I hear they're interviewing lots of people. That's about all I can say. I'm really hopeful as to what it's going to be, and we'll all get to see it together.
Absolutely. And if this were an audition, how would you sound on the audition,
Yeah.
Bob?
How would I sound on the audition?
Mm-hmm.
You mean how would I sound on the audition? Oh boy, how are you? Derek and Courtney, it's so wonderful to see you.
Whoa.
I love it.
That is a trip. I mean, I'm sure you get this all the time. That is such a trip. And where did this voice come from, Bob? Like, when did you realize Barney lived inside Bob?
Well, I let him out every once in a while, but yeah, it was an audition like any other, and as we do, the folks who do character voices, we develop character voices. The producers tell you what the character is like. Maybe they show you a picture, and then you sort of develop a character surrounding that, depending on their personality and what they look like. And we arrived at this voice. It kind of settled in finally around the first season of PBS. So this particular voice. So yeah, had a lot of fun making it.
Fascinating.
It really is. Okay, and fascinating too. I had no idea you grew up in Baytown, which I don't know. Hopefully some of our viewers do as well. But any shout outs to Baytown?
Go Sterling Rangers.
There you go. I like it.
Okay, Bob West, thank you so much for stopping by Houston Life. Thanks for your time. And Barney, thanks to you too. Wow.
Have a great day and keep using your imagination.
Wow. Very, very nice. Thank
Thanks,
you
Bob.
so much, Bob. And we'll see you or not in this documentary. Thanks. Wow.
Thank you.
I mean, that voice is one of the most familiar voices for so many of us.
I mean, so iconic, generation, it's just an unbelievable, there's so many, and I heard so many stories. I've listened to a few of his podcasts and different things about people coming up to him saying, you've changed my life, you helped me get through this. It's really cool.
Hey, Barney is always positive.
That's
know. True.
Let's bring in Joe Sam now with our question of the day. Hi, Joe.
Hey guys, yeah, that was incredible. We want to hear from you. What was your favorite TV program growing up? We already have those people chiming in right now. Let's take a look at what they have to say. Emma, she writes in, Lamb Chops play along. Because of Cherie Lewis, I learned that I use puppets to express how I feel through music. That's really cool. And she added that picture on there. You know, you guys love those pictures that you send in. Mary, she writes in, Captain Kangaroo, Mr. Rogers, and Sesame Street. I love watching Days of Our Lives with my mom too. I remember eating lunch with her, watching before I ever started school. LOL. And of course, The Love Boat and Fantasy Island on the weekends. My kids loved The Wiggles and Blue's Clues. That used to be my favorite too when they were little. Of course, Karen, she has coming in. When I was a teenager, loved the Ed Sullivan Show because of the bands he had on his show. On Saturday mornings, I loved watching The Larry Kane Show, which was a dance show and was based in Houston. I never was a cartoon person. I don't think I was into cartoons too much either, you guys. I did like watching Days of Our Lives with my mom and my grandmother too. We want you guys to head over to the Houston Life Facebook page, join that conversation. We'll share a little bit more of your comments later on in the show. Courtney and Derek, what were your favorites?
I'm going to go with Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry.
Lamb chops play along.
There you go.
Amy, I'm with you.
All right,
Thanks,
Joe, we'll see you in a bit. Still to come, getting ready for Easter, some fun desserts you can make with the kids that aren't too messy, plus some easy shortcuts for Easter brunch as well.
But before all that, the Astros are back. We are sitting down with a Houston legend to chat about the upcoming season. There he is right there, John McClain. We'll have a chat with him when Houston Life returns right after this. Welcome back to Houston Life. It is time now for our H-Town Sit Down.
Let's meet today's guest. Baseball is back. Today is Major League Baseball's opening day. The Astros are going for another trip to the World Series, and Houston sports legend John McClain is in studio to talk about it. He's so famous, the city named a day after him. He grew up in Waco and graduated from Baylor. He joined the Houston Chronicle in 1976. He's interviewed the biggest names in sports. And John McClain, come on out. Welcome to Houston Life. It's great to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course.
How you doing, sir? Have a
Couldn't be
seat there on
better.
the sofa. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, how's
Thank you.
retirement?
Well, I've been busier since I retired from the Chronicle on Thursday than I ever was with the Chronicle. People have been so nice to me. I've been blown away.
And you're still doing, you mentioned before the show, multiple radio shows in many, many markets every single week.
I've been doing 10 weekly shows in 6 cities. I'm on 4 times a week on Sports Radio 610, and I try to accommodate everybody else that asks. I figure if they're nice enough to ask me to do their talk show, radio show, or TV show, I'm happy to try to do them.
You know, I was watching one of your stories that ran on you when you made your announcement of leaving the Chronicle. And one of the things you said when you started the career, obviously the internet wasn't around and Twitter, but you adapted to that pretty quickly. And tell us the reason why, because I thought it was really interesting, because you were saying something about being able to communicate with people who are watching and reading your columns, that you took that as a blessing.
When I started, there weren't even computers. We were still using typewriters. And one of the things I learned when the internet came out, had no clue what it was. And when they told me HoustonChronicle.com, my bosses, I said, what's that? And they said, well, it's a thing called the internet and the website. And I didn't want to be like a lot of my friends who said, oh, no, I'm not doing that. I'm a newspaper writer. And I thought, you know what? I didn't want to be an old dog who couldn't learn new tricks. And so I embraced it. I embraced it with videos and a lot of things special for HoustonChronicle.com, now TexasSportsNation.com. And I always loved doing broadcasts because all I do is talk about sports all the time. If it's not sports, it's movies and TV because I love entertainment. And so I've been blessed to have so many platforms to talk about sports. Like I've been an Astro fan since the first pitch of the first game in 1962 when the Colt 45s beat the Cubs. Bobby Shantz got the win, and Ramon Mejia hit 2 home runs.
Wow.
Impressive.
Well, and your message of continuing to adapt and evolve, I think, is so powerful. Growing up in Waco, John, was there a turning point when you realized this passion for sports you had could become a career?
That's a great question, Derek, because I love sports. My dad made me a huge sports fan. Cowboys and Oilers were born in 1960, and I was 8 years old. And that was when I went to the first Baylor game, and they won. I was a Cub Scout, and I was sold on Baylor. So when I started doing Friday night football, high school, in Waco as a part-timer, and I learned you could get in ball games free, and I was getting too old to sneak in. And so I thought, wow, I said, I go to Cowboy games free, I go see the Astros free. And he said, yeah. I said, that job is for me. I didn't know how to type, I didn't know squat, so I started taking all those classes, and a year later I was hired full-time at the Waco Tribune Herald going into my junior year at Baylor.
Wow.
That is really fantastic. And I know the bulk of your career, of course, has been football. I mean, that's sort of where the love kind of started. And I love watching your grades that you would give the Texans. You know, what was one of them? You wanted to give them a G at one point, you know, lower than the F, if you will. So where do you see them today? Because my dad calls this character years. We're still in the character years, I think, for the Texans.
You know, Courtney, that's a great way to put it. I think it's a great characterization by your father. It's phase 2 of their rebuild. And I think it'll be phase 3 in 2023. Then if Davis Mills works out at quarterback the way they hope, then we'll see them be competitive again.
Yeah.
This year is another rebuilding year, and they don't make any bones about it. But I think Nick Caserio and now Lovie Smith as a coach, those are the right people for the jobs right now, what the Texans need.
Mm-hmm. John, we're out of time. Football, baseball, of course, huge areas of expertise for you. Are you a golf fan? Any thoughts on Tiger Woods?
I would love to see him be in contention right now, just like to see him make the cut, because I'm mesmerized by Tiger's coming back like everybody else, and I'll be glued to the TV screen.
Okay, same. John McClain, thanks so much for stopping by. You've had a fascinating career, and this whole baloney about retirement, we're not buying it, because I know you're busier than ever.
Derek and Courtney, thank you guys very much for having me.
Our pleasure. Loved catching up with you. And for more insight into the 2022 Astros season, KPRC2 insiders can check out this article on click2houston.com featuring our KPRC2 sports team, Astros analysis, Jeff Blum and Steve Sparks.
Okay, very nice. Coming up after the break, healthcare that comes to you, how your next trip to the doctor could happen right in your own living room.
And we're getting a live behind-the-scenes look at Rice University's new Hall for Opera. It's opera for the whole family, what you can expect to see at this weekend's open house. Stay with us.
Feeling sick or injured? What if the doctor or nurse could come straight to you? No more crowded waiting rooms or long lines at the clinic. Well, that's the idea behind Dispatch Health. Nurse practitioner Sammy Melendez joins us now to walk us through the process. Sammy, welcome back to Houston Life. It's good to see you. So you've been taking care of our community now for going on 4 years. What are you hearing from patients and their families? Like, what do they find most surprising about your service?
Thank you for having me again. So yeah, we've been here for 4 years, and I think the surprising thing for most of our patients are the capabilities and capacity that we have to take care of them and their loved ones at the bedside. Some of them are so happy to say, you know, we didn't even know you guys existed, and then they find us and are amazed because we can take care of anything from a simple same-day type of medical conditions, urgent care type needs, to even the complex patients that require a more long-term, up to 30-day care.
Well, and anytime someone is not feeling well or they're dealing with a medical issue, it sort of adds insult to injury when they have to go someplace and sit in a waiting room or wait in a line for hours. Let's talk about the process of getting an appointment. So how far in advance does someone need to book, and how quickly can you respond to them?
So it is, same day appointments, depending on our capacity, how busy we are. Our ETA is normally within 1 to 2 hours. Again, considering Houston traffic and drive time, sometimes it can be a little bit more. And there are 3 convenient ways to book these appointments. One is through the phone, our phone number to call, and you can find that online if you Google us. You can also go to dispatchhealth.com, request care that way. And my favorite way is to download the application. If you go to the App Store of your smart device, search for dispatchhealth.com and request care that way, so we have the access of requesting care at your fingertips.
It really is incredible. A good thing to be alive in 2022 when you can just click an app on your smartphone and the doctor or nurse shows up at your front door. Okay, so let's talk about the cost, because convenience, a lot of people are going to think, okay, it sounds expensive. Do a little comparison for us. How does it compare to going into one of these clinics?
So we are very comparable, I would say, exactly as any brick and mortar urgent care company. We bill at the urgent care copay rate. Our leaders over the years have been able to create contracts and relationships with almost every private insurance company, including Medicare, Medicaid. And then there's no comparison really to like what an ER visit would be. We're a fraction of the cost for our self-pay patients.
And beyond the convenience, let's talk, Sammy, about some of the other benefits that you want to make us aware of. I'm assuming that presumably when you go to someone's home and you're taking care of them there, it helps give you the opportunity to really get to know that person you're taking care of.
Absolutely. We're there at their bedside, get to know them. You know, if we're giving IV fluids, we're there next to them for the whole time that they're getting IV fluids and medication. So yeah, we absolutely love to talk to our patients. You know, we see patients of all ages, and we get to know them personally. All of our providers and teams have that genuine interest of getting to know our patients, and that just, you know, helps the healing process as well.
Well, Sammy Melendez with Dispatch Help, thank you so much for your time. It's good to see you again.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
And to our viewers, if you would like to learn more about Dispatch Health and their services for patients, you can visit dispatchhealth.com or call 281-204-8727. All right, Courtney Zavala, we're going to send things over to you.
Thanks, Derek. Great information there. And thanks to the pandemic, Rice University is finally getting the chance to show off their brand new Opera Hall. To celebrate this milestone, they're hosting an open house for you and the whole family. And Lauren Kelly is there live giving us a tour as well. Hi, Lauren.
Hey guys, believe it or not, I've never been to an opera. I've never been to an opera hall, but this one stands out. It is magnificent. This is the Brockman Hall for Opera at Rice University. And of course, we had to go straight to the source. This is Dean Matthew Loden, Rice University Shepherd School of Music. First of all, this place got pushed back because first of all, it was in 2017 and got built, and then COVID pushed it back some more. So give us the backstory of this hall.
Well, we've imagined building a hall like this for over a decade, and the community came together, made it happen. Previous leadership, Bob Yekovich, did an incredible job, and here we are finally at a point where we can open it up to the public, and we're starting on Saturday with a wonderful community day.
We are so excited for that, and this is really for the Houston community. If you've never ever been to an opera house, or even the Rice University campus for that matter, come out. Let's talk a little bit about that. It's free to the public. People can try on opera costumes.
Totally, it's free to open to the public. The parking is easy. We know it's going to be a beautiful day. You can try on costumes. You can come to a food truck and have some lunch. You can stand on stage in costume and take a selfie of yourself.
Okay, you had me at that.
Yeah,
first show. All right, so the first show is going to be next Thursday. Which show is it?
So we have Don Giovanni, 2 performances on the 14th and the 16th. Unfortunately, it's already sold out.
Okay.
But tomorrow, again, is free and open to the public, and then another special event on April the 22nd, which will be wonderful.
If people come out, they can get the calendar and they can look at next upcoming events, which is wonderful. So speaking of the stage, speaking of the costumes, Dean, don't go anywhere because I'm going to get on that stage in a costume, and we're going to take a look inside the theater a little bit later on in Houston Life. You guys, this hall is amazing. Derek and Courtney, we need to have a date night and go see this for sure.
Sign us up. We would love that. I love the opera. I love Houston Grand Opera. It's great that Rice is doing this, so we'll be there.
Absolutely. Count us in.
Okay, Lauren, we'll see you in just a bit. Well, Houstonians are known to have big hearts, especially when it comes to helping their neighbors. Joe Sam is standing by with a local group calling for volunteers. Hi, Joe.
Hey, guys. Yeah, coming up, we're learning more about a new organization called Generation Serve and how they're serving up a way for your family to help in the community this weekend. Houston Life will be right back.
Welcome back to Houston Live. Courtney and Derek back with you on this Friday Eve, just about 3:30.
I love when you say Friday Eve. It makes everything feel better. Let's get more of your responses to our question of the day. Our question was, what was your favorite television program growing up? Rochelle writes in, Brady Bunch, right after school with a bowl of cereal. Oh, I loved the Brady Bunch.
So good. And Pam writes in, Mickey Mouse Club, my dad would pick me up from school and fix me a snack and watch it with me. Sweet memories.
That was a good one too. Faye writes in, we didn't watch much TV in the 50s and 60s because we played outside till it got dark, then ate supper, bathed, and went to bed. You know, a simpler time. My mom tells me stories about growing up and watching TV and the first time they had a color television, and it's incredible in her lifetime how much television has evolved.
Right? And the phone.
Oh, and the phone. What do you mean it's not attached to the wall? How does this thing work?
How do you hang up?
We got my grandparents a cordless phone once for Christmas. They were so confused, they gave it back to us.
Right. No, thank you.
They hated it. They did.
That
True
is a
story.
great story. Let's check in with Christine and Justin for a look at what they have coming up at the top of the hour. Guys, any flashback stuff you would watch?
You know, we were just talking about, was it called TGIF on
think
Friday
so.
nights?
Yes.
Step by
Oh, I love
Step
that
and
too.
Full
Yeah,
it
House
was great.
and Family Matters. Like, I was like, no one talked to me for 4 hours.
Right.
Here I
What
am,
was
like,
the
a
one with the
little
name of
bored.
the show with the cat that talked? They were witches.
Oh, yeah.
Sabrina, the
Sabrina.
teenage witch.
I
Yeah,
loved
that's right.
that show too.
Same. All
Loved
of
it so
those.
much I didn't remember the name of it. However, I did love it.
That was good. So old man Stapleton here. I'm gonna go way back in the Wayback Machine. When I was a kid, Dukes of Hazzard was like,
Oh, yeah.
my
Hey,
nature.
Chips Patrol. Do
Right?
you remember Chips Patrol?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
be Dukes of Hazzard,
Ponch
and then
and John.
once I got to college, because I went to college in the early '90s, we would sit and we would have the entire floor in the dorm room watching 90210 and Melrose Place, and everyone would just be like, you know, sitting there drinking really bad wine and watching it. So, a lot of fun.
Love it.
It was good.
Okay. You know what else I'm loving? The
What's that?
sunshine today. Not the
nice.
allergy count, though. That needs to.
Yeah,
take a-
no, I actually hit the windshield wipers 4 times just so I could get angrier every time more pollen would get to the side of the car. I mean, it's just bad. We'll get to it in a sec. First, though, yes, lots of sunshine, as Christine mentioned. Beautiful out there. Mid-upper 70s, perfect weather if you're headed out to watch the Stros later on this evening. Again, 9:05 first pitch for us here locally. They're out on the West Coast. 73 in Conroe, 78 in Sugar Land, 74 out towards College Station. Touch warmers, you get on down to the island, and the winds are still cranking too. There's no wind advisory, but notice we've got 14, 21, 16, 17, 20 at Hobby. Wind gusts are cranking close to 35 miles an hour towards Tomball. So still a very breezy day, and yes, that pollen count. So the weed and the grass pollen, as I mentioned at the top of the show, were like, hey, we want in on some of that action, so they have all bumped up again today. And of course, oak trees over 10,000 parts per million. It's the strongest we've seen this spring so far. Still severe weather potential breaking out across the Carolinas. There's the low itself churning, and look at all the snow. Yes, April snow, it can happen, especially up towards Minneapolis, and that's where all the strong winds are coming for us. So if you are headed out to watch the Stros, season opener tonight should be perfect patio weather, but it will get a little cool as well, guys. You definitely need to make sure that you're ready for a chilly evening tonight, and still great looking weather as we get into the weekend. We'll have that. And Christine, first hurricane forecast came out from Colorado State today. We will talk about that about 4 o'clock too.
Yeah, lots to talk about. All right, Justin, we'll see you at 4 o'clock. And coming up also on our newscast here in a little bit, a historic vote in Washington confirming the first black woman to serve on the nation's highest court. We're going to be hearing from some local law students about Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation and why Texas Senators Ted Cruz and John Cornyn said they could not support her. And if you find yourself losing sleep, you may be more likely to find yourself gaining belly fat, but we're going to be running down the small tweaks that you can make to your nighttime habits to have a big effect. And it's also the first day of the Art Car Parade this weekend, back after a 2-year hiatus due to the pandemic. We're running down just some of the events and getting an inside look at all the colorful cars that are rolling through the city. So lots to talk about at 4 o'clock, you two.
Doesn't it make you smile just seeing those cars?
Yeah, makes me
love
so
it.
happy.
It is such a cool,
Yeah.
and Houstonians, people who don't live here, they're like, what do you mean you have this art car parade? We really are so lucky here in
It's
H-Town.
great. Well, not only that, I saw the pictures that Sabira and Haley took with Bun B's car that he had outside the studios yesterday. That thing was banging.
Fire.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys. We'll see you at 4. Well, did you know April is Volunteer Month, a chance to get out into the community and help?
Joe Sam joins us with the story of a new organization that's united hundreds of families with volunteer opportunities. Hi, Joe.
Hey guys, yeah, they're doing some incredible work out there, Derek and Courtney. The organization Generation Serve wants to connect families and nonprofits together through a day of service called Share the Love. Now, this is their first annual big day of volunteering, so they're trying to recruit up to 300 families. It's all in observance of the nationwide Family Volunteer Day of Service. So if your family wants to participate, you complete on-hand service projects supporting over 25 local nonprofits. That's including animal care, environmental issues, health, wellness, supporting seniors, and of course homelessness. All projects are kid-friendly and will support nonprofits like Ronald McDonald House, Houston Botanic Garden, and Search. Now, I spoke with the site director for Generation Serve to find out the benefits your family can receive for partaking in this year's Day of Service.
It is so important to engage kids in service and to empower them that they, even at a very young age, are able to make a difference in our community. It's a means to have hands-on opportunity to learn about community needs and put them on a service pathway where they can have behavior modeled for them about how to give back, and then hopefully they can develop their own passions and grow up to become our future change makers, our future philanthropists, our future community leaders.
Now, the event will kick off this Sunday, April 10th at the Murfish Teen Center with shifts starting at 11 a.m. If you would like to have your family participate, I'll have a link on our website, HoustonLife.tv, with how they can sign up. A lot of great things that are happening out there, Courtney and Derek.
Yeah, very nice, Joe. And they always say giving back really helps us feel better about ourselves. Very nice.
And creating that cohesive community. Joe, thank you. After the break, a local event that combines two of my favorite things, shopping and wine.
All right.
Cheers to that. I'll take you inside Splashway's family-friendly wine walk and artisan market.
But first, let's check back in with Lauren Kelly, who's showing us a brand new venue to check out the opera right here in Houston. Lauren, it looks like you're right at home there.
You guys, I am searching for a costume. I'm going to show you what these costumes look like for the opera, and I'm going to show you that stage when Houston Life returns.
Welcome back. Splashway Water Park and Campground is well known for being a year-round destination where families can enjoy everything from camping to festivals and, of course, wet and wild fun at their water park. But did you know it's also a destination for wine? I had the chance to visit their wine walk and artisan market where I got to sip, shop, and preview the water park's newest attractions. Okay, Carl, this is such a fantastic day to be at Splashway, but we're not getting wet today. This is not about the water park at this moment.
No, today is all about the wine. Welcome to Splashway, Courtney. Thanks so much for being here.
I love this. Okay, before we get into the wine, this whole weekend, Wine Walk Weekend, is all about family-friendly fun, right?
Yes, it is. We've got all sorts of things, not just for adults, but we've got playgrounds, jump pads, petting zoo, you name it, pedal carts, laser tags, and canoes, kayaks, all kind of stuff for the kids as well.
It's so great. Okay, let's talk about the wine because that's why we're here. What's the deal? These are all Texas wines,
right? Yeah, so we had no idea. A few short years ago, we realized that we're surrounded by wineries here in Texas. I thought they were only in the Hill Country. I was completely wrong. The Gulf Coast is loaded with wine. And so we started out with the Texas Independence Wine Trail, which was about 8 wineries, and now we're up to 14. And so they're all within about a 50-mile radius of Splashway, coming from the Houston area, just a little bit north towards Columbus, as well as all the way down to the Gulf Coast and Palacios area.
And we're also, when you come here, you get your glass, you get a card, so you kind of get to check off what you're tasting.
That's
here.
right. Everybody gets 15 tastings with a ticket, and they can also do bonus if they enjoy it, and then you can buy the wine you really like.
Okay, you know what, Carl? I'm thirsty and our glasses are empty.
Let's fill them up.
Let's do it.
All right, Courtney, these are the guys that introduced me to wine. It's the Whistling Duck. They're located just 5 miles from Splashway, really close. And let's get started. Are you a sweet or a dry?
Personality-wise, or?
Well, I know you're sweet, but what do you like to taste?
Wine. I'm like a dry. I love a good bold red.
Cabernets, that's me too.
Yes.
Stan, can we get your Tempranillo?
Tempranillo, absolutely.
All right. What do we taste in here, Stan? Tell me.
Tempranillo, it's a real bold, dry. It's a great Texas grape. It's doing really good. It loves the heat. Does real well in Texas.
Wow.
A lot of flavor.
A lot of flavor.
Yeah.
So, Stan, how did this come about for you with the winery?
We started growing grapes, and our idea was we were going to grow grapes and sell them to other wineries, and we realized those guys are having all the fun, and we're doing all the work. So we opened our winery. We planted our grapes in 2007, and we opened the winery in 2014.
Okay, Carl, this is now the Artisans Market. This is where I really can't pay attention, right? Because there's so many things here. And you're also, besides the wine, you're supporting local artists as well.
Correct. All these people, just like the wineries, come from within a 50-mile radius of Splashway. Personally, I'm a foodie guy, so I really love the booths like this. That we've got handmade jellies and egg noodles and Texas treats. You'll see a lot of that influence here as well.
Well, I think it's great too because when you come to a market like this, you want to take something home with you that reminds you, whether it's a piece of jewelry, the food. I mean, that's what keeps you coming back, right?
For sure. Leatherworks, everything you can think of.
Okay, so we've got our wine, we've got our market information. I need to go shopping, and then we need to talk about what is new here at Splashway.
Water park it is.
Okay. We have transitioned over to the water park, and Carl, hate to tell you, time's ticking. You're less than 30 days to opening day. You gonna get there?
You're right, Courtney, but 30 days, we're gonna have it done. Right behind us here, we have 2 of our body slides we're putting in this year from Pro Slide. They're awesome. The first one is the Summit Plummet, where the floor drops out from you. Super adrenaline rush. You will not catch me on that ride. And then the chicken out slide, I would like to call it, is the Texas Twist, so it's the alternative. But we're also adding 2 more to the other side of the park. The granddaddy of them all, the Patriot. It combines all kind of awesome elements, including slide effects. We're gonna have the stars and stripes in there, as well as a wave and tornado. It kind of combines 2 slides we already have. And but the cool thing about this one is 42 inches and up can ride this ride, so it's for smaller kids as well.
Again, family friendly for the entire group, the entire playground. A little sneak peek of some lifeguard training going on today too in the cold water. But hey, we're kickoff time. We're opening less than 30 days, Carl.
Ticking down. April 30th, we'll be here and we'll be ready.
Gotta love the hard hat. You know, they were still under construction.
It's a good look on you.
Splashway Water Park and Campground is hosting their next wine walk and artisan market coming up on Saturday, April 23rd. Go on out there. It is such a great event, family-friendly event. Bring the whole kids. And listen to this. You can purchase the tickets for $49.99 online or on site, which includes 15 tastings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you can buy all the wine there as well. For more information, you can visit splashwayhouston.com/HoustonLife or simply give them a call. Number there on the screen, 979-234-7718.
All right.
Family owned, by the way.
Well, on Splashway, you could spend the entire day there. It's a huge property. There's so many things to do. All right, we're going to shift gears now. Rice University's Shepherd School of Music is gearing up to officially open the brand new Brockman Hall for Opera next Thursday.
This is so beautiful. Ahead of next week's first performance, you and your family are invited out this Saturday for a behind-the-scenes look at the venue and what it takes to stage an opera performance.
Yeah, Lauren Kelly today is learning all about it. She's at the venue this afternoon. Lauren Kelly, how's your costume going so far?
How's my costume, Derek and Courtney? It fits like a glove, like I'm supposed to be here already. Okay, I'm here with Trayvon Walker right now. We're going to talk a little bit about your role in this opera because next week's program is Don Giovanni. What is that show about?
Okay, so it's about this this man who is very carefree and does whatever he wants, really. And he has to suffer with the consequences of that.
Is this one of the costumes in the show?
Yes, it's from Don Ottavio. He is a man that is getting vengeance for his wife.
Now, whose costume do I have on, Trayvon?
You have on Donna Anna's costume, my wife.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, husband. Let's talk a little bit about the venue here. As you guys can see, they're still finishing up the touches because it opens next week. This theater is magnificent. It seats about how many, Trayvon?
About 600 people.
And what I love about this is every seat in the house is going to be perfect for no matter where you're sitting, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the best things about this house is that it's not as big as typical opera theater houses. And, you know, as singers, it's really important for us to not feel like we have to push or overdo it. And we can really just harbor our authentic voices in this house.
So a lot of the talent here is superb on stage, but I want to, some of the costumes that I looked at were very heavy, and I was asking you about the lighting. Is it hard to sing in these heavy costumes and the heavy lighting?
It's definitely a challenge, but you know, we do it for so many times before the show happens that it becomes second nature.
You're a professional. I'm just singing in the shower, which is why I will not be on this stage next week. Trayvon, thank you so much and best of luck. Break a leg next week. We can't wait to see the show.
Thank you.
You guys, if you want more information, log on to HoustonLife.tv. It really is a magnificent theater, and the event happening Saturday is something that you're not going to want to miss. Derek and Courtney, back to you guys.
Lauren, bravo. Bravo. Fantastic job, my lady.
Very
I
convincing.
can't move too much because it's pinned.
It is absolutely beautiful, though.
Good, Lauren. Have fun out there.
It is.
We'll see you a bit later. Okay, when we come back, one of our favorite guests of all time, Tangi Patton of Good Taste TV. She's in the house making some Easter entertaining. She's making it easier with some kid-friendly recipes.
She always has quite the spread and a special springtime cocktail, of course, for the adults.
Uh-oh.
That's all coming up after the break on Houston Life.
Easter is right around the corner, and some bunny better get ready.
That was an ad lib. From the menu to a sweet treat, the kids can help out with our next guest, making easier, entertaining, Easter entertaining easier. I'm just still stuck on the hopping. Welcome back, friend of the show, Tangi Patton of Good Taste TV. You gonna hop on in?
Yeah, it's a good ad lib too. It got us all.
We brought the cheese today, Tangi, but what did you bring for us?
Well, I brought a really simple way to do Easter at home, especially one that the kids can help out with. So there's a little bit for mom and dad, of course, and then we've got stuff for the kiddos
Well,
too.
why don't we start with the adult section over here?
Absolutely. Rosé. It is actually
All
rosé
day.
season, but yeah. Courtney and I are of the same belief. Rosé all year
All
round.
year round.
All
It's hard-
365.
Yes, it's hard
All
for me
the
to say
time.
no.
All the time. This is from, of course, HEB, Le Chamarel. It's less than $15 a bottle. I love this. It's a Provence rosé. It's all the classic dry minerality. Beautiful little hint of fruit.
Ooh.
It's a
Oh,
good
this is
one.
good.
And a pretty fancy label. Throw it in
Isn't
an
it?
ice bucket and you are good to
And
go.
again, a
Good
screw
one.
top. I
The
love
best,
that.
right?
Yes.
No delay. Okay, talking cocktails. Gin can be funny, right? It's all about the quality of the gin.
Yes.
This is my favorite. This is the Gray Whale. Reading the bottle on this is quite an adventure. All of the botanicals are sourced from the California coast. They tell you, you know, the juniper from Big Sur, the kelp is from the Mendocino area. Beautiful gin, and that's a cocktail. We've got the recipe on Good Taste TV.
It tastes kind of like a pina colada.
It's like a pina colada with gin.
Oh,
Gray Whale.
man.
Gin's
The
having
ace
a
of cups.
moment too, and I
It
like
is.
that it's, you know, it's kind of a local product as well.
Yeah.
So it's very cool.
Well, it's incredibly responsibly done. The whole company has just got a great mantra. Anyway, I love
Beautiful
it.
bottle,
Gray
too.
Whale. Okay, we're going to build an Easter bunny. So you want an Easter cake for your table, right? But sometimes the cakes kind of take a long time. This is all done for you. I go to HEB, I get the cupcakes. You can get them iced or uniced, right?
Oh.
And then you start building. I've got the directions on my website, but you're basically starting from the middle and you build out. And the cute part is we're going to finish the ears.
There's just a little
you're gonna-
shredded coconut
Yeah.
on there.
And then the face.
There's the whiskers, right?
Whoops.
Adorable.
You haven't lived until you do it upside down.
So you just took a whole thing of licorice and cut it in half, cut the strips in half.
Yes, and yeah, if you can't find small ones, and you're just really kind of giving it the little personality.
It's adorable.
And it comes together. It looks so cute.
It's so cute.
So in the picture that we had of the finished product, you didn't put any food coloring or anything on the coconut like we did here for this
You
one.
can do it right. You can do the little inside of the ears with coloring,
Okay.
and it's real simple to color coconut with just a few drops of food coloring in a Ziploc bag, and you're done.
Yeah, it's done. It's so sweet, and I love that because that's a great thing to bring over or leave out. It's really
yeah.
cute.
And the
Well,
pre-made cupcakes, that is a pro tip right there.
It's so
Saves a ton of
easy.
time.
And they used to sell the icing. You can buy a little tub of the icing.
Yeah,
They do it.
It's
make it
adorable.
easy.
how
It's super
cute that
cute.
is.
Okay,
Isn't that cute?
so while we're looking
Very
at that,
nice.
we're talking about the rest of the spread, and we can't just have regular rolls, but we have to have cool rolls.
Well, and the reason we have cool rolls is because Cool Linscomb did the beautiful table settings
Always
as
looks
always.
lovely.
And so I love this little elevated version of
These
our
are
rolls.
so cute,
These are
Tangi.
bunnies, and they're so easy. You can make the dough from scratch if you want, or you can buy frozen, like Parker House rolled dough.
Yeah.
The dough, not the already shaped rolls. And you just take a little bit out, take your scissors, and you clip the little ears.
That's it.
That's it. So then it bakes, and then you come back and you can put little sesame seeds in for the eyes.
Oh, they're so
And they're
sweet.
darling, and of course they're delicious, right? I mean, who doesn't love a nice buttery yeasty roll? Aren't they cute?
They're so
Very nice.
cute.
So fun. This is a great centerpiece for your table. It's a Hasselback ham. You know the Hasselback potatoes, right?
Yes.
Steak 58 does amazing Hasselback potatoes.
And that's
This is
basically
ham.
just named because of the cut.
That's
right?
because of the cut. And what I've done in here is taken slices of Swiss cheese and put them in between the individual layers. If you really want to kick it up, you could add a little jalapeno slices in there too. I've done that. It's very good. We have put some garlic and butter and honey, and you just bake it in the oven, and voila.
Gorgeous.
It's a beautiful centerpiece.
And is the meat pre-cooked, Tangi, or this is a totally raw ham that you're starting with the, slices of cheese?
It's pre-cooked. You could do it and cook it, but if you do that, I would do the ham and come back and finish it off the Hasselback
Then
way.
add the cheese.
I'm afraid your cheese might break down to the extent that, you know.
You wouldn't want to eat it.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to eat it.
Okay.
You might, but it may not look that great.
Well, Tangi Patton, this is so much fun. Clever, simple ideas. You're always a pro. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Recipes, how-tos on our Fun Little Bunny at goodtaste.tv.
It's very cute,
On
and
the
I
Fun
love the
Little
sprayed.
Bunny.
spread. Hop, hop, hop.
Very
Always
nice.
great to see you.
Good to see you guys.
And a reminder, of course, you don't want to miss Tangi's show, Good Taste with Tangi, this weekend on KPRC2. Set your DVRs for 5:30 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday.
We'll be right back. Tomorrow on Houston Life, it's one of my favorite events. We are live at NRG Center for Nutcracker Market Spring Edition, y'all.
I cannot believe it is already
Sharpen
time.
your elbows.
Okay, so must-see merchants, unique finds. We are your complete guide to all the springtime shopping fun happening under one roof. I'm giving some love to my friend at Man Ready Mercantile, Travis Weaver.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, we had a good time checking out that shop. And so there's guy stuff at the market.
Yes,
There
definitely.
is.
Great time to shop for all of your end of year activities and everything you need, or just shop, okay? It's a great excuse to shop.
It is, it for sure is. Well, cheers to Friday Eve. Thanks again, Tangi, for the fun Easter snacks. And I think that does it for Houston Life today.
That's going to do it for us. We're going to send it over to Keith and Christine. We'll have a cheers to y'all, too.
Oh, we love
We
it,
always
please.
appreciate that.
We'll think of you.
Just save a little. Just save a little. That's all we ask. Just a little bit.
That gin cocktail was real good, too, by the way.
Oh, you're teasing us. Okay, it is almost the weekend, though.
See you in an
Cheers
hour.
to you both. Okay, sounds good.